Well, I guess you could say that the Blazers are officially in tank mode. The number breaking down when it comes to if they are a playoff play-in team or a lottery team. I don't know if that matters so much after that one as the Blazers go into Chicago and take the loss 118 to 113. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Welcome in to the fifth quarter. If you want to join in on the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio and get in on the conversation there. And why do I say they are in tank mode? Well, because the rotation proved as much. Plus, quite frankly, I think when you looked at all the injuries, I think maybe there's a chance that Tumani Kamara's ankle injury might hold him out for the final few games. Maybe Dwight Breathe, all these little injuries they have. And you know what? You can only cling to hope so long, especially when you are a man down. But the Blazers played incredibly hard in this one for a team that did not have Anthony Simons, no Scoot Henderson, no Dwight Breathe, who was a late scratch, no Tumani Kamara, who was a late scratch. Right? No Jeremy Grant, who has been out for some time now. No DA, no Robert Williams. The list goes on, right? They came out, they outscored the Bulls 33-30 in the first quarter. And I'll tell you what, that game looked like two teams. One of them, even though they are a play-in team, looked like two lottery teams. It was very, very sloppy in that first quarter. At one point, Kevin Huerter misses a dunk. And then Shaedon Sharpe airballs a three. Vucevic misses a wide open layup. Banton goes down, sees Sharpe for an alley-oop, throws him the alley-oop pass, misses him by about 10 feet. Blazers don't turn it over, though. They got the loose ball, but it was just sloppy. And the Blazers still managed to grab the 33-30 lead heading into the second quarter. In the second quarter, things got a little tightened up. The Bulls outscored the Blazers 22-21, and the Blazers did hold the 54-52 halftime lead. There were 7 lead changes, 9 ties, and no team led by more than 6 points in that first half. At halftime, Denny Avdia, 11 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. Donovan Clingan, 5 points, 11 rebounds. Shaedon Sharpe, 8 points, 2 assists, and Jabari Walker, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Now, the third quarter, where the Blazers have been playing pretty strong lately, the wheels fell off for Portland. The Bulls scored 40 points, outscoring the Blazers 40-29. Now, it's not as if the offense wasn't there. I mean, 29 points is nothing to sit there and say, oh, that's a poor performance there. But giving up 40 points in that quarter, pretty bad, right? You look at the game the other night, the Blazers had, 35 points in the second half? That one hurt. That was the lowest scoring half of the season. And you look at the Bulls sit here, get 40 points in a single quarter. Portland did outscore the Bulls 30-26 in the fourth. They got it as close as 2 points there at the late at the game, biggest lead for the Bulls, 15. And the Blazers pushed. They got it close late. And then with 3 minutes left, they waved the white flag. Despite the fact that the win was still right there, Matisse Thybulle, Denny Avdia, and Shaedon Sharpe sat on the bench for the rest of the game. The final lineup out there included Chris Murray, Ryan Rupert, Jabari Walker, Delano Banton, and Donovan Clingan. So they couldn't get the offense they needed, even though Delano Banton hit some nice shots, had a big 3 to cut it to 2, but they just couldn't get it done. Missed too many shots there late, and this was the point at which the white flag was waved, right? And this is the point at which I think you can say the team officially decided to go into tank mode, because we talked about it when it happened here a few weeks ago, right? How egregious it was when Washington sat there and didn't play all their starters. Jordan Poole played 10 minutes and Chris Middleton played 10 minutes, and they didn't play Alex Sarr in the second half. And we talked about the Raptors taking out Scotty Barnes despite the fact that he was torching the Blazers, and they took out Jakob Poeltl, and they sat all their stars late in the game, and Oscar Robertson got the last shot. Like, yeah, Portland just did that. Portland just did that. That one hurts. I said Oscar Robinson too. Orlando Robinson, excuse me. But you get the point. You get the point. We ranted about those two teams being those were two of the most egregious tanking jobs we've ever seen. Oh, yeah. Portland took note because Portland just did that tonight, man. And the frustrating part about that to me is the fact that if this was the end result, you could have done it a few games ago. You probably could have saved yourself. You could have went into tank mode, had real better odds. Now you're just doing this because you might want to get 8th instead of 9th. I mean, I get it. Percentages matter. But to wave the white flag like that and just give up on that play-in chance on purpose, I don't like that at all. It's kind of frustrating. But you know what? You could still sit there and look at this team and the performances out there and still take a lot from this one, man. Because Denny Avdia, 33 minutes, he had 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Another incredible performance from Denny. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That is the Toronto game. I'm just so frustrated, Brenden. It's just got me. Denny Avdia had 37 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Matisse Thybulle,
Chris,
7 points.
I totally know what you're saying, and from a lot of ways it was. However, I will say this. This is a me problem, and I'm not making it about me. I will not be frustrated on this particular day. So,
I get
I'm
you.
still smiling ear to ear.
Donovan Clingan, 7 points, 18 rebounds, and an assist. 17 points from Shaden Sharp, 2 rebounds as well. 21 points from Delano Banton, who I saw some people on social call the tank commander. He did lead the ship pretty good. I do love that. So there's the positive. You got to take away those things right there that you do like. The frustrating part is just waving the white flag, right? Now, Kevin Huerter had 9 points and an awesome missed dunk. It's always kind of fun when someone misses a dunk and the ball launches about 100 feet up in the air when they miss it. Matas Buzelis had 12 points, 31 points from Vucevic. Very good performance there. Josh Giddey, 15 points, 19 rebounds, 12 assists as well. 31 points from Kobe White, who, shout out to Kobe. He's been on a tear, man. Absolute tear. And so good performance there for the Bulls. They got that dub. And when the Blazers were unable to find the offense late, Chicago was able to find it. And good for them. But boy, howdy. You got to call the spade a spade. You got to call your Blazers out when they do the same thing that has happened to you. If I'm going to say that Washington and Toronto had 2 of the most egregious tanking jobs we've seen in a season, then you got to call Portland out for what happened tonight. 3 minutes left, a winnable ball game. They took their starters out. Took their stars out, really. I mean, Clingan and Banton played, but still frustrating. Final score 118-113. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, get in on the chat there as well. We're going to take a quick break and come back. We'll give you our drive of the night, shot of the night. We're going to have a quick post-game show tonight because Rich Burke waiting to take over Hops opening day today. Hops baseball. You can listen to every game here on your home of the Blazers and the Hillsboro Hops. Rip City Radio 620. Although right now it is the bottom of the 4th and Eugene has an 8-0 lead over Hillsboro. Uh-oh. It's all right. Game 1 of a long season, my friend. They're not in tank mode yet. There is no such thing. It's got to be so hard to coach or manage in high A ball. Because anytime your players start doing good, Double A wants to take them. So crazy, man. And the fact that the Hops can be competitive every year, baseball's awesome. It's awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, drive of the night, shot of the night. Still got to listen to Coach. All the like, all right here on your home of the Blazers. Rip City Radio 620.
It's time for the fifth quarter drive of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Ball fake, drives on repair, cut off by Murray, pass deflected and stolen. Sharp has it in the open court, takes his time, drives and gets the easy dunk. The Blazers are back in front 42-41 and the Bulls will take timeout.
It's time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
3-on-1 for the Blazers, ahead to Sharp, behind the back to Avdia, banks it in, and another 30-point game for Denny Avdia. Timeout, Chicago. Avdia with his 10th career 30-point game, his 8th this season, and his 7th since March 1st.
Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. The Blazers going to Chicago, and they fall to the Bulls 118-113. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. Get in on the chat there where Doran says, I can't understand the mentality of losing on purpose. I don't like it either, but you guys know that. I have preached that since day one. I'm steadfast there. I'm not changing. I am team put your best foot forward. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But I don't like doing things and messing with the basketball gods that can kind of help you lose on purpose, if you will. And that was definitely what happened tonight. It was a weird situation there. You had the game in reach. You had a chance, and you took out Denny. You took out Shea. You took out Tease all there in those last minutes. And it's just like, there it goes. If those young guys would have pulled off the win, that would have been fine. But then when coaches we just didn't have the offensive power there late in the game. Yeah, because you took out your two best offensive players. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
I mean, it's true.
Like, come on. Like, if a football team purposely takes out their quarterback and puts in their running back at quarterback, and then he's like, yeah, we just didn't have a downfield passing game late in the game, and we really needed it. Yeah, no duh. Because you took your quarterback out.
I mean, Chris, some teams, when you go from the starter to the backup, that's a pretty big drop-off.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
No, it seems cliche to just be like, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, Chris. I mean, I came in today and I'm like, they still have a Jim Carrey chance kind of a thing. And, I think even today it's still not mathematical after this loss, but, we all kind of see the writing on the wall now.
Yeah, like I said, I understand. I know why. I just don't have to like it.
Agreed.
That's literally what I'm texting Chad right now. He's trying to explain to me why it's going on. I'm like, I know why. I just don't have to like it. Like I said, my biggest thing is you got to call a spade, right? So if you're going to sit here and you're the same person who dogged Washington and Toronto for how they decided to tank, then you got to call Portland out for doing the exact same thing. And I don't know how you fix it in the long run, but you got to fix it, because if I paid money, I want to see the best players on the court if they're available. You know what? Sub patterns are normal. I get that, but this one, a little egregious. Not a fan of it at all. If you want to join in the conversation, again, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. I know you guys aren't used to these earlier tip-offs, but you know what? Was that the last early tip-off on the road? Sunday's game is a 3-er. We had a few more of those this year, these earlier Sunday tip-offs. I like those at home. Those are nice. And then we got on the road at Utah, home against Golden State, and then home against the Lakers. That's a 12:30 tipper. That's going to be fun. But, man, play-in's basically done now. So we can say that one's gonzo. The mathematical chances we had talked about, they're just not there anymore. And again, it's just unfortunate because I love the way that Portland was playing. I like the fact that, things were looking like they had a chance. And I just wish they would have just tried to win that game today. Because here's the thing. They won that game tonight, then they still would have been 3 games back of Sacramento. Like, it wouldn't have changed the play-in race. This is a full tankathon move. And again, that's where I get frustrated. Because if you wanted to tank, And this was the ultimate outcome. You probably could have done it a few games ago. Probably could have lost to Atlanta. That one might have helped, right? Probably could have lost to Toronto. You could have tried to make a little bit of ground. You could have started this thing a while ago. Instead, you do it in the last 5 games where the only thing you're playing for is the possibility of getting 8th or 9th. That's what we're playing for at this point. That's, again, a little frustrated about how that part plays out. I understand it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. But let's take a look real quick at some of the scores around the league tonight to see how they did impact some of those standings. Obviously, a couple teams playing for seeding. The Nuggets down to the Warriors right now, 64-60 with 30 seconds left in the first half. Nikola Jokic has 17 points. Steph Curry has 19 for the Warriors. In Los Angeles, 20 seconds left in the first quarter. The Pelicans have a 30-25 lead over the Lakers. Jose Alvarado has 18 points. Dalton Knecht, 8 points for the Lakers. 10 minutes left in the first half. Dallas down 18-34 to the Clippers. Vaka Zubac has 6 points and 9 boards. PJ Washington, 6 rebounds right now, is the top performer for the Mavs. And this is the big one that probably kind of made Portland say, yeah, we're gonna wave that flag. Is Sacramento goes into Charlotte and wins 125-102. So that helped them keep pace there. It got interesting since they lost that game yesterday to Washington, right? But they took care of business to Charlotte, who might be the worst team in the NBA. Of course, then there's a team that is trying to tank more so than any other team in the NBA. That's the Utah Jazz. They lost to the Pacers 140-112. Colin Sexton had 27 points. Pascal Siakam, 22, 3 steals, and 4 blocks for the Pacers. Boston took care of business, taking down the Phoenix Suns 123-103. So that's one to watch in the standings as well. Devin Booker, 37 points, 6 assists. Jaylen Brown had 31 points for the Celtics. The Raptors lost to the Pistons 117-105. The Thunder lost to the Rockets 125-111. The Cavaliers took down the Spurs 114-113. So there you go. That's how things are. Now we talk about the Tankathon standings, right? Now you look at the actual standings and everything that's going on. I mean, Portland has is 1.5 games back of Phoenix, and then they are now 3.5 back of Sacramento. So that win looms large. And of course, that loss to Sacramento to start this road trip has a huge impact on all this as well. So Portland still not eliminated yet, but they likely will be here soon. And so you look at the Tankathon and how things go, right? Well, right now, as it stands, San Antonio is 8, Portland is 9. There is a game and a half separating those two. They play on Sunday. So if what today is any indicator, I would say there's a good chance that come Sunday, Anthony Simons is still out. Scoot Henderson's still out. Tumani Kamara is still out. Like, there is a good chance that this is full tank because you want to lose that game. You lose that game, you are in control, basically, of trying to get that 8th seed.
Question I would have right off the shoot, Chris, is obviously San Antonio. I'm looking at they're 4-6 in their last 10. But respectfully, who's San Antonio trotting out there without De'Aaron Fox, without Wemby? I mean, what does San Antonio's lineup look like these days?
Oh, my gosh. It looks very Spursy. I don't even know what that means.
Love it.
But they lost tonight to the Cavaliers, right? That was a 114-113 game in favor of Cleveland. The starting lineup for the San Antonio Spurs: Harrison Barnes, Bismack Biyombo, Chris Paul, Devin Vassell, and Steven Castle. Now,
Okay.
Castle's been pretty good this year. Devin Vassell, I think, is pretty good as well. We all know who Chris Paul is, right? Harrison Barnes still has the ability to light it up and do his thing. And so that's what you got right now. Now, of course, going into next year, you take that team, like Castle and Devin are both good. And then you got obviously Wemby, you got Jeremy Sohan, whatever draft pick they get. Yeah, things are going to be San Antonio's going to be on the come up, let me tell you.
Yeah, I swear, Chris. Would it not be the most Spurs thing to be like, oh, yeah, let's just jump up to 1 and we'll add Cooper Flagg to Wemby? I mean, that seems very Spursy.
Could you imagine? That would be insane.
Yeah, so let's just, no. Keep bring him here.
Yep, absolutely. So Don in the chat says, I totally agree with you, Chris. The Blazers easily could have won that game. And I mean, they could have. They had a chance there late. They just waved that flag. And like I said, maybe maybe they got some word down on the bench there. Said, hey, look what happened in Charlotte. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and waive this one and play for the 9 seed. Again, my only take is if I knocked Washington and Toronto for doing it, I can't sit here and say, oh, that was a great job by Portland. I got to stick to my guns, and I got to knock it there too. But now things, like I said, things get really interesting because the next game on Sunday is against San Antonio. And quite frankly, the winner of that game has the most to lose. Like, you want to lose that game now because with the way things are and how tight things are, loser of that game has a chance to basically go the rest of the way, control their chance for the 8 seed. That's what you need to think about now moving forward. Because, again, the play-in, you got 5 games left, and in those 5 games, you're going to have to basically go undefeated to even have a chance at sniffing the play-in now. 3.5 back, and you're going to have to outpace Sacramento. That's probably just not going to happen. Again, mathematically says there's a chance. Logically, probably not. So here we go. Either way, at the end of the day, whether I like the coaching moves or not, Portland still did outpace their preseason win totals. They have improved. They're over 30 wins. Not a lot of people thought that would happen. Things are okay. And I do love the performances from the guys tonight. Okay. I can't take anything away from Denny, who another 30-point game, another double-double, almost threw the 5 assists in there, was cruising. Can't take anything away from Delano Banton. Can't take anything away from Shaden Sharp, who was trying to get it going. The shot wasn't falling, but you still liked how aggressive he was. Like, you know what? Can't take anything away from Donovan Clingan at 18 rebounds when they needed him big time tonight. Crazy that the team had 54 rebounds and was still out-rebounded by the Bulls 61-54. That's wild. So I can't take anything away from those guys at all. I just think he could have ended that game just a little bit different. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups had to say following this game, hand out a game ball, and then if there's still some time left in it, we'll probably head over to Hillsboro Hops Baseball opening game today. It is on the alt stream right now because, we got our bases covered. No pun intended. But I did tell you that it was 8-0 Eugene in the top of the 4th. Eugene put up a 4 spot there in the top of the 4th, take the 8-0 lead. Well, Hillsboro's answer with 3 runs in the bottom. It is now an 8-3 ball game. So you know what? Baseball, baby. It's crazy. It ain't over till it's over. That's what Yogi Berra said, and he's a legend, so you got to believe him. I am Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. And, of course, you can follow all of us on social at Rip City Radio 620. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
For the latest on tonight's game, we head to the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups.
Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Time now to head to the Coach's Corner. Let's go back to Chicago, hear what Coach Billups said following this 118-113 loss to the Bulls.
It was tough. It was tough sled, especially in the last few minutes when we didn't have our playmakers in there at the time, the guys that kind of got us to that point. Denny, I thought, carried us for most of the night, and Shaden was good. Delano was pretty good. And it was just tough sledding. I mean, the young kid had a big shot in the corner over there, but we were doing a really good job defensively to get ourselves to that point. We just didn't have enough offense in there at the end to win the game.
What did you think about the way you guys were able to come back? It seemed like when they got up 15 that it seemed like it was, I think maybe they thought it was over, but you guys obviously didn't.
Yeah, we did. We just kept scrapping. I wanted us to keep kind of getting to the basket, drawing their defense in. They were doing a lot of swarming down there, and then we did a good job of kind of kicking the ball around. I thought our offensive rebounds really hurt them throughout the night. We didn't shoot it well anywhere, to be honest with you, but our offensive rebounds kept us in it.
How do you kind of come away from this trip then, Coach?
I thought it was a good trip. I really do. I thought it was a good trip for us. We played against some good teams on it. I thought we played well for the most part on it. Obviously getting banged up, getting hurt throughout the trip didn't help at all, But at the end of the day, I thought, it turned out to be a really good trip for us. We got some guys that are really playing well, man.
You mentioned the shooting percentage, Coach. Just what I say about you? Obviously, rebounding is part of it. What does it say about your defense as well that you guys were able to stay in this game shooting, like you said, 26% from three, 38% from the field?
Yeah, I mean, our defense, I thought our defense was really good in the game. And again, it's the only reason why we are able to compete in games like this is when you play really hard defensively and you make it really, really tough for them. I mean, they had some dudes that had some huge offensive nights. You get 31 from Vooch, 31 Kobe, and then Josh had a triple-double, So they had some really big numbers from some of those guys. However, we still right there, with a chance to win the game. So I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of our defense.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on Fifth Quarter.
Who gets the game ball tonight for your Portland Trailblazers? Well, you know what? I'm actually going to give the game ball tonight to Donovan Clingan. I like the fact that he was 3 for 11. It was something Sean Heikkinen and I talked about before the game. I would have liked to see a little bit more of the offense run through him tonight since the Blazers were shorthanded. I think they tried to do that with those 11 shots. I love the 18 rebounds, the block shot, right, the assists. Not a ton of fouls. He did have 4 of them, which, him and Delano Banton had the most. But that's going to happen when you're pretty much the only big man and they're attacking you. I know it's easy to pick Denny because Denny had a great game, right? I think it's easy to go want to say Delano because he had 21 points or whatnot. But no, I got to go with DC for showing up when I think the team needed him a little bit. And that is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, once again, Blazers, 113, Bulls, 118. Pretty much out of the play-in idea, but, we'll see what happens in the lottery here. Don't like the way that they subbed at the end. I'm not the coach, though. It makes sense to me. Will say that. Just doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. All right, I think that's going to do it for us today, though, because A, we got to get out of here, and B, we got some Hillsboro Hops baseball to get to because it's opening day for your Hops, baby. High A ball is back. How awesome is that? But we'll be back on Sunday, as the Blazers take on the Spurs in a game that took on probably just a little bit more importance now because loser of that game is going to be in a pretty good spot in the tankathon. There are 4 games left. Portland has San Antonio on the road at Utah on Wednesday, and then they end at home against Golden State and Los Angeles. Tip-off on Sunday is at 3 p.m. I will have game day for you starting at 1. Sean Heikkinen will join me for a little bit there as well, so you can come in. Remember, follow him over there at the Rose Garden Report. Our Trailblazers insider doing a ton of awesome work. Once again, final score from Chicago. The Bulls 118, your Trailblazers 113. Now we're going to kick it over to our friends, Rich Burke, Matt Rickert, Seth Hoyland. Some of them might be on. All of them are on. It's opening day, man. Hops Baseball is back. And a reminder that you can listen to all of the Hops Baseball all season long right here on your home of the Trailblazers and the Hillsboro Hops, Rip City Radio 620. Until Sunday, Rip City. We'll talk to you on the next one.